Things just took a sickening turn as a report just came out from Jon Heyman regarding the state of the deadline that will have Yankee fans shaking their head. We'll break down the implications of this report and how Brian Cashman needs to address this position if the Yankees want to be relevant come October. What's going on, guys? Alex Brooks back here on Yankees Digest, giving you guys a daily dose of Yankees content every day of the week. And if you guys are not subscribed to these videos, if you're not a part of that 24%, come on, guys. Let's subscribe. Let's comment down below to join in on this conversation. The Yankees have so many moves that they are going to make at this deadline, and we have it all covered here on Yankees Digest. So grab that popcorn, grab some drinks, and subscribe and listen to these videos on a daily basis. But let's get right into this video as talking about a recent report that came out from MLB Network insider Jon Heyman. He said the Yankees are buying, but they aren't nearly as aggressive a buyer as we all imagined when they were forging an early and large division lead that's long gone now. A sale isn't happening, but Yankees decision makers, having paid attention, aren't exactly all in either. And this is very concerning when looking at this deadline, because the Yankees are someone who we've known for a while that they are usually all in when it comes to the deadline. I know these past couple of years have been kind of moves, just they make like a couple moves and then they're good with it. But we've known from the past where the Yankees at the deadline, they're very ferocious and they're trying to get the star pitcher and bring them in to produce in October. But it has been over the past couple of years that the Yankees are kind of circling, kind of not getting the guys that, we all expect. Yankees just got Ryan McMahon and Rosario today. So you're thinking that the Yankees are just kind of prepping for a big move. They have like a little bit of small moves right now, but they're prepping for that big meal ticket move. But after this report, learning from Jon Heyman, this is just very concerning because the Yankees are going to need this big move at a starting pitcher or a bullpen. The Yankees bullpen and starting pitching have not been cutting it so far, and they're going to have to make a move sooner rather than later. And, just looking at what Cashman can do going into this deadline, you already have McMahon, who's filling in at third base, and he did well today at the time of recording Sunday when he had that 2-run double, and he has been producing so far in the Bronx, small sample size. But now Rosario's back on here. He's a platoon bat that the Yankees can use in the outfield and in the infield. But now you're going to want to have someone who is proven to go into the back end of the bullpen, and then also another starter that this Yankees team really needs, because, after Rodon, I mentioned it time and time again, the Yankees are going to need a third starter behind Rodon if you want to have success in October. And also with the bullpen being one of the low spots right now, the Yankees are definitely going to need to get more out of their bullpen. But, just looking at more with their bullpen issues, this is a report from the Yankee Report. He said the Yankees bullpen has allowed 68 earned runs in their last 85 innings pitched, 7.20 ERA. Yeah, that's real. 68 earned runs in 85 innings pitched. That is abomination. That's blasphemy, as Stephen A would say. Blasphemy. 68 earned runs in 85 innings pitched. Are you kidding me? I mean, what are we doing here? Like, none of these pitchers in this bullpen, outside of Devin Williams, have been able to look great. We've seen Luke Weaver be great last postseason and the start of this season, but once he went on the IL, once he came back, he just looking like a shell of himself. And then Tim Hill has been struggling, who has been someone who's been consistent last year, has been falling off a little bit more. I mean, like Ian Hamilton doesn't have it, and Jonathan Loáisiga isn't the same pitcher. So guys who've had really great starts to their Yankee careers are not fitting the bill this season in 2025, and injuries are a part of it. But the guys that are on this roster that are expected to perform have not performed so far for the Yankees. And it's a real shame because one guy who has just really not been performing is Luke Weaver, as I've mentioned. A guy who the Yankees picked up didn't really have much expectations because, Clay Holmes was the closer. He obviously had a up and down career in the New York with the New York Yankees, but Luke Weaver came in last postseason and he won the hearts of all Yankee fans. And this season, it seemed like he was doing really better than Devin Williams to start this season in April and May. Then he went on the injured list, came back, just has not looked great. Hasn't even looked average. It has been just night and day from the beginning of the season to now with Luke Weaver. And I am just blown away on how bad it is looking. I mean, his command is not there. Every time, his velocity is not there with Luke Weaver. He was able to use his break a little bit more. It's not breaking, it's hanging. And these guys are taking him deep, and something really needs to change and got to work in the lab a little bit more if you're Luke Weaver. And just a little bit more on his stats so far this season. I wanted to break down these last 7 games, 15 and 30, just to give you a little bit more on Luke Weaver and what his little bit more just in depth on the ERA and what he's been doing. Last 7 games, 1-1 with a 4.32 ERA with 4 earned runs. Yeah, that's definitely not going to cut it. In 8 innings, you're giving up 4 earned runs and 3 walks. I mean, just unrecognizable when looking at Luke Weaver. And then, you look at the last 15 games. In 15 games, he gave up 11 earned runs, 13 hits, 5 walks, and 16 strikeouts. So he's giving up so many more runs in the last 15 games with a 6.46 ERA. And it's just been unrecognizable. He just doesn't seem like he has it so far this season. And I'm not sure if there's some nagging injury that's keeping him out, but really just something needs to change with Luke Weaver. And he's not going to be able to put in that 8th inning spot anymore if the Yankees get someone to replace him. Maybe move him into the 6th inning spot just to get a little bit more confidence underneath him. But you're definitely going to have to address this deadline if you're Brian Cashman, because having this as one of your high leverage relievers, that's not going to look good in October. You're going to be bounced out of the first round. There's no way that is going to be suffice for the bullpen. So definitely something needs to change there. And one thing that the Yankees, this was a report that just came out that the Yankees are eyeing Rockies reliever Jake Bird over 53 1/3 innings pitched this season. Bird owns a 4.05 ERA and a 3.09 FIP with a 26.7% strikeout rate. And, just kind of looking at what Jake Bird can do so far this season, it seems like the Yankees are looking at guys that fit the analytic bill over production. It's kind of been just the MO for the Yankees over the past couple seasons and for this deadline. They obviously got Ryan McMahon, who's doing really well on defense. Offense is a little bit of struggle. Ahmed Rosario, he fits the analytic bill against lefties, but he has been a little inconsistent. Now with Jake Bird, could be a guy who fits the analytic bill, who's doing really well in the analytics department, but with the production, analytics can only do so much. You got to go out there and produce. So it just seems like the Yankees are kind of eyeing people that a lot of teams aren't. And that's been kind of Brian Cashman's MO, trying to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't think it's going to work. I do not see this as something that's going to work. And it's very frustrating because the Yankees have been able in the past to get these guys at the deadline who do produce and end up being key contributors. But Jake Bird, definitely going to be interesting if the Yankees could do something there. Just looking at his just his stats so far. Last 7 games, 16.88 ERA. Just out of the blue there. 10 earned runs, 2 walks, 14 hits. I don't think analytics is covering that. Last 15 games, 3-0 with a 9.64 ERA, 26 hits, 15 earned runs. So the ERA is not there. The run production is not there from that side. So I'm not sure what the Yankees are looking at, but the Yankees definitely are trying to look at someone who fits that analytic bill, and a little bit more on just what the Yankees are looking at this deadline. This is Jon Heyman on the Yankees bullpen. They say their focus turns now to the bullpen, and they are eyeing the best of a shockingly excellent group of relievers potentially available. Ryan Helsley, Emmanuel Clase, Cade Smith, Mason Miller, Johan Duran, and David Bednar are just some of the many glossy names on a long roster of relievers out there. And the guys that I just mentioned, Helsley, Duran, Emmanuel Clase would be definitely someone who I think Yankees fans would just welcome in with open arms. But these guys like Helsley, like Duran, you're going to have to pay a premium for, but I do believe it is worth it because you want to bring these guys in to dominate. You want to bring these guys who have the production to be right next to Devin Williams and figure it out. We've already seen how Devin Williams has figured it out in the Bronx. You can definitely have someone like Helsley or Duran to be a good 1-2 punch in the bullpen and help out the relievers to get them a little bit better. But that's going to do it for another edition of Yankees Digest. Appreciate all the support you guys are giving us on the channel. And guys, we got trade deadline season coming up this week, and hope you guys have a great night. And let's get some bullpen arms, let's get some starting pitching, and let's go Yankees.